The first thing Small Laude sells is not a bag, a vacation, or a skincare product. It is the feeling that the door is open. A camera enters the house. Someone is laughing before the greeting is finished. A family member walks through the frame, and a polished afternoon begins to look like a casual visit. The setting may be far beyond most viewers' daily lives, but the invitation is deliberately ordinary. Come in, eat something, listen to the story, do not bash. That contradiction is the real subject of Small Laude's appeal. Her vlogs are luxurious, but they rarely ask to be watched as luxury advertisements. They present wealth through errands, jokes, family arguments, food, beauty routines, and travel mishaps. A private world is made public, then softened until it feels socially available. The question is not whether Small is rich. That is visible. The more interesting question is how she turns privilege into intimacy, and why so many viewers accept that translation. Small's videos are built around a performance of unforced energy. Her voice rises, her reactions arrive early, and ordinary remarks become punchlines. Yet she has acknowledged in interviews that she filters herself on camera, becoming more restrained than she is at home. That admission matters because it breaks the fantasy of pure spontaneity without destroying the charm. The performance is not a lie hidden behind authenticity. It is the mechanism through which authenticity becomes legible on a screen. Every creator edits. The difference is that Small's editing is disguised as interruption. A conversation seems to wander, a relative appears without warning, a meal becomes a debate, and the camera follows the noise. The apparent disorder is a style. It gives the viewer the pleasure of discovering a scene rather than being formally introduced to one. In a media environment full of polished influence, her messiness functions as proof of life. The more the vlog looks like it escaped control, the more carefully that escape has to be shaped. This is where her class position becomes central, not incidental. Small does not need to vlog in order to pay the bills. Interviews have described her as someone who once called herself a plain housewife, helping with the family's business, and spending time with friends and relatives. Her public decision to film her life was therefore not a survival strategy in the usual creator economy. It was a choice made from security. That choice changes the meaning of everything that follows. Viewers are not watching someone climb out of obscurity through content. They are watching someone with access decide that access can become a form of entertainment. That comedy is not decoration. It is a bridge across class. A viewer may not share the house, the travel budget, or the social circle, but the viewer can recognize a mother calling from another room, a relative interrupting a conversation, a friend who talks too loudly, or the panic of trying to make a meal work. The common experience does not erase the economic difference. It gives the difference a story that can be emotionally entered. Small's power lies in making an unequal world feel conversational without pretending that the inequality is gone. Her famous no-bashing spirit acts like a moral contract for that conversation. It asks the audience to interpret the noise generously. The line is funny, but it also establishes the rules of the channel. Criticism should not be allowed to harden into cruelty. Embarrassment can be turned into play. The family can expose itself while remaining a family. This helps explain why her videos can contain conspicuous consumption without feeling like a lecture about superiority. The viewer is being asked to join a mood before being asked to judge a lifestyle. The mood is carried by a recurring cast. Family members, friends, helpers, chefs, stylists, and celebrity guests do more than fill the background. They create continuity. Each return makes the channel feel less like a collection of uploads and more like a continuing neighborhood. The audience learns voices, reactions, rivalries, and habits. Even a simple shopping trip can carry the emotional expectation of a sitcom episode. Who will arrive? Who will complain? Who will be teased? Who will unexpectedly become the center of the scene? Small has also turned that relationship into a wider personal brand. Her beauty interests became Small Step's Skin, a business she has described as growing from years of trying products and wanting to share what worked for her. The move from vlog to product is often treated as a betrayal of authenticity, as if a personality becomes false the moment it becomes commercial. But commerce was present from the beginning. The channel transformed attention into trust. The product extends that trust into a purchase. The important question is not whether the brand is commercial. It is whether viewers can tell when affection is being asked to become evidence. That question becomes sharper when the product looks like the person. Small's name, voice, humor, and taste do not sit beside the brand. They are part of its packaging. Her business is not merely advertised by the channel. It inherits the emotional atmosphere of the channel. The viewer is not only told that a product is useful, the viewer is reminded of a familiar woman who jokes, complains, welcomes people, and seems to enjoy her own life. In the creator economy, personality is not a supplement to the product. Personality is the product's most persuasive ingredient. Still, the channel should not be mistaken for an unfiltered democracy of feeling. Its warmth has a point of view. Domestic workers may appear, but the home belongs to the family. Luxury travel may look playful, but the ability to travel remains unevenly distributed. A viewer can feel included in the conversation without being included in the material conditions that make the conversation possible. Small's gift is to make that distance emotionally comfortable. The responsibility of the viewer is to notice that comfort without turning it into resentment or worship. This tension is what makes her content more interesting than a simple story about a rich woman who became famous. She has found a way to make privilege behave like personality. Instead of presenting wealth as a silent fact, she gives it a voice, a laugh, a family argument, and a plate of food. The transformation is persuasive because personality feels democratic even when the surrounding resources are not. Everyone can recognize a joke. Not everyone can reproduce the life in which the joke takes place. Her story also complicates the idea that online fame belongs only to the young. Small's public reinvention arrived after years in which she had been defined by family, marriage, business, and domestic routine. She has spoken about sadness, anxiety, and the question of purpose during a period when she felt she had little to do. Vlogging gave that restlessness a visible form. The camera did not simply document an existing identity. It provided a new social role: host, entertainer, entrepreneur, and familiar presence for people she may never meet. So is Small Laude's authenticity a performance? Yes, but that answer is too simple to be useful. Her authenticity is performed in the same way hospitality is performed. A host chooses what to cook, where to seat a guest, and which stories will make the room feel alive. The welcome is prepared, but the pleasure can still be real. The fact that a home has been arranged for visitors does not make the visit meaningless. It makes the arrangement part of the meaning. What Small offers is not access to an untouched life. She offers a carefully negotiated version of access. Enough wealth to fascinate, enough imperfection to relax us, enough family to create continuity, and enough editing to keep the invitation safe. That balance is why her channel can feel both extravagant and comforting. It does not ask viewers to become rich before they can understand the joke. It asks them to accept the joke as a temporary room where the distance between lives feels smaller. The danger is that the room can become so comfortable that we forget who built it. Every vlog leaves things outside the frame. The work behind the ease, the people whose labor makes the ease possible, the boundaries that protect the family, and the economic structure that makes a playful afternoon available for filming. Seeing the frame does not require rejecting the joy. It requires a more mature kind of attention, one that can laugh and still ask what the laughter is doing. Small Laude's most revealing achievement is not that she made luxury relatable. It is that she made relatability itself feel luxurious. She gives viewers the sensation of being welcomed into a life they cannot fully enter, then turns that sensation into a habit, a brand, and a community. Her authenticity works because it is neither pure confession nor pure advertisement. It is a style of care, constructed in public and repeated until it feels like home. And perhaps that is the final lesson of the Small Laude phenomenon. In the age of the vlog, a life is no longer only lived, it is arranged for return. We come back to people who have learned how to make their choices look spontaneous, their privileges look playful, and their labor look like laughter. The honest question is not whether the performance is real. The honest question is what kind of reality the performance allows us to imagine. Small's camera does not erase the distance between her world and ours. It makes that distance visible. It gives it a voice, a rhythm, a seat at the table. And if we watch closely enough, we begin to understand that two things can be true at once. The welcome can be genuine, and the welcome can still be carefully constructed. Perhaps that contradiction is not something we are meant to resolve. Perhaps it is the point, because every invitation comes with a boundary. Every story has someone holding the camera. And every frame, no matter how warm, intimate, or sincere, quietly decides who belongs inside it, who remains outside, and what we are allowed to see.